The ground beneath you feels uncertain, shifting like sand underfoot. The vibrant colors that once painted your spiritual journey have faded to muted tones, and the passionate fire that fueled your quest for awakening has dwindled to embers. You feel lost, unmotivated, perhaps even lazy, and at times, a chilling numbness settles over you, leaving you wondering if all the profound experiences you cherished were merely fleeting illusions. A gnawing whisper might suggest that you're falling backward, that you've somehow failed in this grand spiritual endeavor. But let me tell you, with absolute certainty, that you are not broken. You are not regressing. What you are touching now, this profound stillness, this disconcerting quietude, may very well be the first honest silence of your life. The halting of the old engine. Imagine your spiritual path as a journey, and you, the traveler, have been propelled forward by a powerful, albeit somewhat noisy, engine. This engine is your ego, with its incessant clattering of ambition, its desperate little fears, its constant need for validation, achievement, and external definition. For so long, this engine was all you knew. It drove you to seek, to strive, to overcome, to become. It dictated your goals, your aspirations, even your understanding of what spiritual meant. It was the source of your perceived forward momentum. Then, at a pivotal, often unnoticed moment along this path, something profound occurs. This old engine, the one that has been tirelessly working, pumping out desires and anxieties, suddenly sputters to a stop. It doesn't die with a grand ceremony, no dramatic fireworks or celebratory fanfares. It simply, quietly, runs out of itself. The fuel of ambition, the oil of fear, the mechanics of striving, they've all been consumed. There's no more energy to feed its relentless churning. This can be incredibly disorienting. If the ego-driven engine was what you believed propelled you, then its cessation leaves you feeling stranded. You expect something immediately new to take its place, a powerful spiritual wind to fill your sails. Yet, that new current, the quiet guidance of the soul, has not yet gathered enough momentum to carry you forward. It's there, a gentle ripple, a subtle stirring, but it lacks the force to move you decisively. And so, you find yourself suspended. You are in a liminal space, a moment of profound stasis between what was and what is yet to fully emerge. The void, a space of undoing. This suspension manifests as a deep, pervasive sense of detachment. Nothing calls you anymore. The things that once captivated your interest, fired your passion, or commanded your dedication now seem utterly devoid of appeal. That old job, which once provided a sense of purpose or security, now feels like a hollow shell. The familiar rituals of success, the pursuit of promotions, the accumulation of wealth, the endless climb up the ladder, suddenly seem meaningless, like chasing after smoke. Even the familiar people who once defined you, whose opinions and presence helped solidify your sense of self, may now feel distant, their conversations mundane, their concerns irrelevant to your newfound inner landscape. Yet, simultaneously, no new horizon has yet risen. There isn't a clear new path, no flashing neon sign pointing to your next spiritual mission, no urgent new calling compelling you forward. The old maps are useless, and the new ones haven't been drawn. You are truly standing in the void. This is the point where the mind, accustomed to labels and progress, screams failure. Regression. It attempts to fit this experience into its limited understanding of linear growth. But I assure you, this is neither failure nor regression. This is, in fact, the most profound and necessary stage of spiritual unfolding. This is the collapse of the false scaffolding, the dismantling of the elaborate identity you once believed was you. Think of it like a chrysalis. The caterpillar, its old form, has dissolved into a transformative soup, yet the butterfly has not yet fully formed. This isn't chaos, it's a necessary dissolution. What is truly happening is a profound stripping away, a process of undoing rather than building. Something immeasurably truer, something far more authentic, is waiting to emerge. And here's the crucial part, it does not arrive as a thought or a new goal to be pursued. It comes as a presence. A quiet, undeniable presence. The unplugging of the ego's machinery. To understand what's truly unfolding beneath the surface, we must look at the energetic dynamics of awakening. For most of your life, your ego acted like a powerful pump, constantly drawing energy into your life. It did this primarily through two mechanisms, fear and striving. Fear of not being enough, fear of failure, fear of rejection, these were powerful motivators. And striving, the relentless pursuit of external validation, achievement, and a perfected self-image provided a sense of direction and purpose. This entire system was powered by a story, a narrative of who you needed to be, what you needed to do, and what you needed to acquire to feel whole or worthy. As spiritual awakening deepens, as your consciousness expands beyond the confines of the ego identity, that elaborate machinery quietly unplugs itself. It's not a violent wrenching away, but a gentle, almost imperceptible disconnection. The ego's fuel source diminishes as you begin to realize its stories are not ultimate truth. The inherent anxiety that once propelled you dissipates as you touch deeper states of peace. In this newfound energetic landscape, something else begins to stir. The frequency of the soul, the pure, unadulterated awareness of your own I am presence, begins to hum faintly in the dark. It's like a subtle vibration, a quiet song, barely audible at first. This is your true essence, your direct connection to Source, beginning to make itself known without the constant static of egoic chatter. But this song, this gentle hum, takes time to become loud enough to live by. It needs space to resonate, to gather its strength, to become the dominant current in your life. In this gap, the space between the ego's silence and the soul's full emergence, everything feels like nothing. This nothingness is profoundly unsettling because we are conditioned to constantly feel, to constantly be doing, to constantly be achieving. Yet, it is not truly nothing you feel. What you are experiencing is the illusion draining out of you. Imagine a murky pool of water slowly being drained. At first, it just looks like less water. But as the level drops, the sediment, the accumulated debris, the illusions that once obscured the bottom, become visible and then slowly dry up and crumble away. This feeling of nothing is the illusion of a separate, fear-driven self being purged, leaving behind pure, unadulterated space. It's the shedding of layers that were never truly yours. Beyond identity, a new way of being. What waits on the other side of this void is not a new identity to replace the old. This is a crucial distinction. The ego always wants a new story, a new role, a new spiritual persona to inhabit. But the void's purpose is to transcend the need for any identity constructed by the mind. What waits is a way of living not powered by fear or desire at all. Imagine a life where your actions aren't driven by what you lack, or by what you fear, or by what you desperately want to achieve. Instead, you will find yourself moved not by striving but by impulse. This isn't impulsive in a chaotic, reckless way, but rather an intuitive, soul-guided impulse. It's an inner knowing that arises spontaneously, guiding you effortlessly in each moment, in perfect alignment with your highest good and the flow of life itself. You become an instrument, rather than a struggling conductor. You will discover joy not as a goal but as a natural condition. For so long, joy was something to be pursued, something to be found in external circumstances or achievements. But as the illusion drains away, and the soul's frequency becomes louder, you realize that joy is your inherent state, the background hum of your authentic being. It arises naturally, unbidden, simply from being present and connected. It's not something you achieve, it's something you uncover. And you will offer yourself to life not as service from duty but as play from the soul. The old paradigm of service often came with a sense of obligation, a feeling of should. But from this new place, your contributions, your interactions, your very existence become a joyful expression, an effortless overflow of your unique essence. It's like a child at play, fully immersed, utterly absorbed, with no thought of reward or recognition, simply delighting in the act of creation and interaction. Your life becomes an extension of the divine play. This is why you are not meant to rebuild at the level of the character. The temptation is always to construct a better, more spiritual version of your old self. But the true invitation is to see through the character entirely. To recognize that the character, the personality, the ego-driven self, is merely a temporary vehicle, a costume you wear for this earthly journey. The real you, the eternal, I am presence, is the consciousness inhabiting the character. You are meant to identify with the pure awareness, not with the transient roles it plays. So, take heart in this stillness, this apparent emptiness. You are not alone. Millions before you, and countless more beside you, have stood precisely where you are now. You are standing at the seam where the false ends and the real begins. It is a sacred threshold, a profound initiation into a deeper, more authentic way of being. Have you stood here before in the quiet of the void? Perhaps in dreams, in moments of profound stillness, or in a distant memory from another time? This is not an ending, it is a momentous beginning, a recalibration, a sacred pause before your true essence fully illuminates the path ahead. The space you are in is pregnant with possibility. Embrace it.